Welcome to the Limitless Ladies Network podcast, where we are limitless in sharing lessons to advocate and drive insightful, empathetic self-care. The Limitless Ladies Network is dedicated to nourishing minds, educating on self-care, and facilitating transformative experiences. Our mission is to guide women to age with grace, cultivate good health, and build meaningful connections to bring happiness into their lives. We strive to empower the ladies of the community so they may successfully advocate for themselves and embrace a journey of holistic well-being. Please note that the information and opinions shared on this podcast are for educational purposes only and are not intended in any way to be used as medical advice. Please seek a medical professional for any health-related matters, and always refer to our full disclosure in our show notes. Are you struggling with consistency? I sure am. So I want to talk about that today. Talk about how consistency can just, or lack of consistency, can just wreak havoc on all of the habits that we truly want to create. Welcome to today's episode. I am Tammy Dungan and your host of the Limitless Ladies Network podcast. So consistency has been a little bit of a challenge. And I think sometimes we always throw in I've got ADHD and I'm like all over and just struggle with being able to have that consistency with things. We need consistency for a lot of things, a lot of reasons. Creating consistency helps us to be able to stay focused, helps us to have some motivation to do things and to reach our goals. So I myself have been hearing the word consistent and being consistent repeated, and the universe seems to be talking to me, telling me that this is something that I really need to start putting into practice. So I'm working on being consistent. And in order to do that, I need to find ways to be consistent. So habit stacking, which I'm sure most of you have probably heard of from the great book, Atomic Habits by James Clear. And that essentially is to take your existing habits that you have and really just kind of stack those on top of other things before or after that you're trying to accomplish to create your goals or a new habit that you want to create. So I'm trying to get more into exercising first thing in the morning. First of all, I am not really a morning person. I am somewhat of a morning person. I'd say I'm a bit of a bear, which 80% of us are, waking up with the sun generally. But I'd like to get up a little bit earlier, which I can do, or at least just get up at the same time every day and go to bed at the same time every day. So in order for me to be able to do that, I have had to anchor that or stack that with something else that I'm already doing. So first off is to get out of bed, right? Is to set the alarm. But once I do that, I do notice that I have to have my sweatpants to be able to go downstairs into my little area and do some yoga or some weights or Pilates, something. If I have those readily available, I look at them when I go into the bathroom. So I know I'm supposed to put them on. So my brain is kind of getting used to the fact that, hey, that's kind of the next step. So I have that. And then I come downstairs, and lately I have been making myself a dandelion tea, and I have that first thing, and then I bring that downstairs. So it's kind of like those couple things are first do this, which then leads to the next thing. And it helps for my brain not to really have to think about it or struggle with it, because I know that I'm supposed to be doing these things at that same pace or right after each other. And it can be right before or right after an existing task or thing that you're already doing. And I'm finding that to be useful in terms of creating that momentum and keeping things going. As I continue down this path, though, sometimes I have my good days and my bad days. So I do need to remind myself to have grace with myself, because sometimes I'm just not feeling it and I just don't want to, get out of bed and go downstairs and do that exercise and movement that I need to do each morning. And today was one of those days where I was just super tired and I had a lot of excuses in my head. I did go downstairs, and I ended up meditating because time did not allow me to fill in my exercise. So I will do my exercises a little later today, possibly after dinner. So I can have some flexibility, which always is good. But if it doesn't happen that day, give yourself some grace and let you know that tomorrow is the restart, or even later in the day, you can pick up that thing that maybe you didn't get to put on your calendar at that particular moment. So having flexibility is definitely a positive whenever trying to create any new habits and consistency in your lifestyle. The other thing is to possibly have an accountability partner. I find this super helpful when I'm trying to start something new. If I have somebody that will kind of prompt me or ask me, hey, did you do that workout today? Then I'll give myself a little, oh no, I feel guilty I didn't do it. But then I might actually jump in and do that before the day ends. Or it's a good reminder that, hey, yeah, my friend's going to ask me tomorrow, so I should probably make sure that I get that in to the plan for tomorrow and make that happen so that I can feel better and have a positive result to share back. And it can work both ways. You can do similar tasks with somebody as an accountability partner, and you both want to go for walks each day and put in so many steps, maybe. Or you want to be able to lose so much weight, so you want to weigh in every day or do so much exercise. Could be anything. So you can be working on these tasks together or these habits together, or it can be completely different. It can be that I need to exercise, so that's my goal. And maybe my friend has to cut back on wine, for example. And so I can ask, well, how many glasses did you have today? Or cut back on coffee and ask, did that happen? So it's just a little reminder in a friendly way, of course. We want to be positive about it. And any support that you can provide is always good to keep it in a positive frame of mind and say, well, that's okay if you slipped up today, because tomorrow is like a completely fresh start. You get to completely start over again, which I like. It's kind of like that movie Groundhog Day. Almost like it didn't happen, right? And you get a fresh start for the next day. I have learned that it was kind of a myth. We used to talk about habits being formed within about, 2 to 3 weeks for most people, for you to feel like you're really get it kind of down pat and it's just going to be part of your regular routine and your regular habits. But it seems that that myth is a myth, right? That what they were saying is that short distance of time really wasn't really enough for people. It could be enough for some people. Of course, there's always the anomalies. But they're finding that it really takes more like 66 days on average. So about 2 months, right? To be able to, or a little over that actually, to be able to get that brain entrainment, meaning I am retraining my brain and my neural pathways to automatically know that I want to create this as a habit and that it just is something as part of my daily routine. So know that if it doesn't happen right away, just give yourself some grace. And then there's always options to break things down if it's a really big goal or habit that you're trying to put in place. For example, my sweatpants that I put in the bathroom, right? Or my workout gear, I have those in that area. So that's the first step, right? Maybe I just do that for a couple days and I look at the sweatpants and I'm like, oh, okay. I know I really should be putting those on and going downstairs into the basement and doing something down there. And eventually your body will just look at it and kind of talk itself into doing that, right? At least put them on. Then maybe the next step is you actually get down into the basement and you just do a little bit of stretching. That's still an activity and a step forward in the right direction. And then the next time, maybe you decide that you're actually going to lift some weights, or you're going to go through a quick yoga training that you found on YouTube. So figure out what that goal is and just break it down into the tiniest minute steps that you can, and do those regularly or consistently until those are just kind of second nature, right? Until you feel comfortable enough where, yep, I always just get up in the morning, put on my sweatpants, so I know that's what I should be doing. And then the next step and the next step, and they just kind of build upon each other until after those few months, you are able to just kind of build it in and it's second nature to you. These things don't happen overnight. It does take time. Give yourself some grace. And I do recommend getting an accountability partner, because who doesn't like to do stuff with somebody else, especially in this day and age when we're all stuck here behind computers and, we've had our distance from each other. Let's get out there and reconnect and have that accountability partner or that coach or whoever that you just need as a friendly reminder to help you get through this stage of a habit that you're trying to build. There's lots of us out there. I am a coach. I am a trainer, and I love to talk about this stuff and to uplift people so that they will feel empowered to know that they can make adjustments in their life. Nothing is ever set in stone. We always have choices. And sometimes, like I said, we don't move forward with what we anticipated doing. So we can just give ourselves some grace. We can be kind to ourselves, speak to ourselves very nicely, and know that there's always the chance for you to pick up where you left off or to restart again. It doesn't have to be New Year's for you to wait to start these new habits or create a new resolution. It can be in an hour even. So I wish you well in creating your new habits. I know that it is a challenge at times, and we all have our daily ebbs and flows to get through, but know that you're not alone. There is support there, and we are always here to uplift you. So I want you to continue to be limitless and be well. And of course, always check out our website for upcoming events that we have. I would be remiss not to say that we do have some women's empowerment things happening at various different places. I will actually be at Oxen Oak at the end of this month for some fun times there and doing some sound bowls, meditation, some moon activities to help us release. Also some things at Salem Pines Equine Retreats. And coming up in the fall, I'll be doing a couple things at the Flower Girl as well. So that'll be fun for a new moon manifesting experience. That will be great. Hopefully you'll come out and join us. So find tickets on our website. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and of course on our YouTube channel. And anyone that is interested in having me come in to speak with your ladies organization or nonprofit organization, I'm happy to come in and share knowledge with you on sleep, stress, and self-care. And please check out the lovely ladies on my directory who also provide various different holistic wellness services that can uplift you, help you to heal, and just help you feel limitless. Thank you.